Tolu Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Yeah, Detroit. Destination restoration. Yeah, it's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create that separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Saying break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Vision new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create that separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
Finally. Detroit basketball. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. You've been saving up for that for a few games.
I've been itching for that the same way Paul Reed was itching for minutes.
Yes.
Man. Okay. So guys, what up though? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope everybody is having a great Saturday night. If you watch this game, you probably are. Boss, how you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, they got my heart rate going for a while, but towards the end there. But other than that, I just feel amazing and back on track. I'm excited for these guys. I got to see, some guys that we've been missing a little bit, and they performed very well when called upon. And another stellar night from our stars. So I feel really good. And the Heat are like a team that we have been closely matched with for a few years now. So this is another great win. Yeah,
I'm not going to say that, they hurt us, but I'm going to say that they hurt us after last night's game. Yeah. Pistons bounced back. Last night took an L, but then now we bounced back. So guys, by the way, we see you in the chat, man. We see you guys in the chat. Make sure you keep those comments coming. We appreciate you guys being here with us. We're going to break this down and enjoy this win. Regardless of how close it got down the stretch, we're going to enjoy this win together.
Yes.
So let's get to it. So guys, the Pistons just finished their matchup with the Miami Heat in Miami in the second night of a back-to-back, and they bounced back after a 2-game slide, beating the Heat 138-135 to improve to 16-4 on the regular season. This was Duncan Robinson's first visit to Miami in a different uniform, and he got a really nice reception from the crowd. I think they made a montage video for him as well, and he got a little emotional. So it was nice to see him, be able to return, get a W, and be able to, have that nice reception from the Miami fans. That was cool. He had a few shots and they kind of cheered a little bit, so that was nice to see. Shout out to you, Tom. I see you in the chat, bro. Keep the comments coming, man. We see you, man, for sure. Appreciate you. Let us know what you thought about this game tonight, Tom. Let's hear from you. Also, guys, we didn't get a chance to see Fontecchio tonight, right? Simone Fontecchio did not play in this game. We all know the Pistons traded Fontecchio for Duncan Robinson, and I think the change of scenery seems to have benefited both guys. Even though Fontecchio didn't play tonight, he has been playing better for the Heat than he did for the Pistons last year. So shout out to him for playing better. And shout out Duncan Robinson, man, for really, playing some solid minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. And I think Fontecchio was kind of filling in for an absent Hero because Hero came back. I was kind of bummed. I wanted to see him tonight because he got in some good games and good rhythm with us. They kind of lost it for a bit, but he seems to be doing well and finding it in Miami. So it would have been fun. It would have been fun to see him on the court again, but it's okay.
Yeah. Big facts. Shout out to Matty Fresh coming in hot. What's going on, Matt? Appreciate you as always, bro. He says, Detroit basketball. Duncan Robinson revenge game for sure. Yeah, he played pretty well tonight, man. I gotta give him some credit. We're gonna break down all of his details when we get to the box scores. But Maddie, as always, we appreciate you, bro. And also, I want to highlight a super chat we missed the last game. This one coming from Dominic. He said, just gonna highlight the first part because the rest of it applies to last game. But he said, young dudes on Twitter crashing out like the season is over. And I agree. You can't really be prisoners of the moment after one or two games, especially after the way we played the last 13 before that, right? So shout out to Dom. Appreciate you as always, bro. Had to get your comment in here because we missed it last game. So we apologize for that.
My bad.
It's all good. We appreciate you either way. So boss, let's go ahead and get to the injury report, right?
Yes.
So Jalen Duren missed tonight's game with a left leg contusion. Them contusions be contusing, man. Yeah. It's nothing serious. He's listed as day-to-day, but he did not play tonight. Also, Karis LeVert missed tonight's game. He was listed as questionable coming into this game, and he did not play. He sat out with a right knee issue. I also don't think that's anything serious, but the silver lining is that it gave us an opportunity, boss, to see more minutes for guys like Daniss Jenkins and Paul Reed, for example, LaRon Holland, Javonte Green.
Yeah.
And man, did they pay off. They pay off, guys?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Just phenomenal. And, Jenkins kind of had a slow start, but he really became obviously useful and needed in the second half. Really made up for it. He always seems to do that, bounce back. Everyone that played tonight that we didn't get to see a lot of minutes of from these past few games were phenomenal. And we did talk about the injuries too. And I don't think that they're serious, but the Pistons know that they have that depth too. So it was a great opportunity for these guys to, not push it. And for JB to have, an excuse to play some more guys on the court too. Yeah,
for sure. I'm seeing a lot of Daniss Jenkins love. Because what's going on says Daniss is a dog, needs the backup point guard minutes. He's earned the role, two-way or not. We always say that, bro. Daniss Jenkins is a two-way player, playing like a two-way player. If you know, right? And hopefully that two-way contract gets converted to an actual standard NBA contract so we can have him for the entire season, boss, and not have to worry about how many games he has left to play with us on that two-way contract.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, guys, initial thoughts. We're going to get to it. First things first, the Pistons went with the starting group of Cade Cunningham, Duncan Robinson, Ausar Thompson, Tobias Harris, and Isaiah Stewart. So, boss, initial thoughts. Go ahead and take off with what you saw with this game.
We just looked a lot more like ourselves. We were playing fun basketball. The Heat are always going to go on runs. That's just who they are. So there was like we went on a 13-0 run at the end of the first, and then they opened it up at the beginning of the second with a 9-0 run or a 12-0 run, and then we went on a 9-0 run back and forth. But our offense, and we talked about this last one, is I think our defense was great. We played a lot of defenders, a lot of guys that hustle, and it resulted in a 59% field goal percentage over the whole game, 60% in the first half. So for that not to barely fall off in the second half is very incredible, even with, the Heat coming back a little bit there to keep us on our toes. But we just played with, so much energy. We looked very excited. The bench was loving it. I loved what I saw from them tonight, and they just looked like they really wanted it. And Cade had another almost 40-minute night, but I feel like it was much better managed. He didn't look as exhausted. He looked very, very clean, very intentional with his moves. So even though there were, some turnovers as well, a lot towards the end, because Miami's not going to go away, guys. They're not going to give up. Especially against us. We've had back and forth with them. Last year was I think we were up by like 10 or 12 in the fourth, and Tyler Hero hit like 4 threes in a row. But then PHJ went off in overtime to help us get that win. But they know how to play us. They always have our number. But it was, I just loved watching it today.
It felt like every game from last year was close with the Heat. Like we had the NBA Cup game pool play with the overtime game, like you mentioned. Then we had the buzzer beaters with Bam hitting one on us, and then Cade hitting one on them, both on the road. Like you say, it was a lot of close games last year. They don't give up. If you play for Spoelstra, you're not going to give up. Go ahead.
It's 4 games in a row that it's been a 3-point margin win for them.
Wow. Case in point. There you go. That's why we got her here, guys. She always comes with the heat.
Right, that was a Johnny Kane stat that I stole.
Shout out Johnny. Okay. Okay, cool. By way of Johnny Kane, you brought it to us.
Yes.
Let's get a few comments, guys. Tom says, okay, I'm going to go get some Detroit style pizza in Korea to celebrate this. Hey, go do that. And throw them dubs up too, bro. Throw them dubs up for sure. Big Wolf says, those guys not hurt. Hey, we're going to get to that as well.
Yeah.
Mike says, I know we end up with a 10-man rotation, which includes Daniss, but man, how do you sit Reed or Green? I think those two are better than LeVert. Interesting. Okay. And then SRT says, my boy Ron. Okay, guys, for sure. So we're going to get to some more comments as we move along through the initial thoughts and the box scores. So here's what I saw, boss. This game came down to one word for me.
Yeah.
Transition. Transition, man. The Pistons and the Heat, boss, they want to play the same way. The Heat want to force you into turnovers and get out in transition. The Pistons want to force turnovers and get out in transition. The Pistons are just a little bit better than the Heat are at that. You could see there were times when the Heat would try to impose their will and try to, do that, and then they would try to get out in transition, and we get back on D. And then we get a stop, and then we run back, and then we get a shot, and then we would score, and then they was all right. Let's slow it down again. You know what I mean? So like we're better at that than they are when both teams are doing it at their peak. And I think that was a big difference for us tonight. We're just a better team. Even with guys out, we're a better team from top to bottom. But since they both like to play that way, like I mentioned, I knew going into tonight's game it was going to come down to execution. Right? Who can execute better on both ends and impose their will? Who can take better care of the basketball and take advantage of turnovers and getting out in transition? And the Pistons showed that for about 45 minutes of this game, they dominated, that area. They got a little sloppy down the stretch, but the Pistons definitely got back to who they are. And Cade talked about that before, and I think it was the Boston game. He said, we weren't able to get out in transition and run like we normally do, So like we always say, when they're trading baskets, they're not at their best. When they're having to take the ball at the hoop and try to run a half-court offense, they can do it because you got Cade, but it's not when they're at their best. It's when you can have other guys, pretty much anybody on this roster can benefit from good defense, turning that into offense. So I love to see that they got back to who they are. And it was everybody, boss. It was everybody. Like even guys you wouldn't expect. Like Duncan Robinson getting out in transition and getting the and one finish. Like you don't see that too often. But everybody bought into it.
Stu brought it coast to coast that one time. They said everyone looked confused. Even the Pistons were like, they all stayed back because we're like, wait a second, is he going to stop and pass it out? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Hunter Patterson. I was actually tweeting with him during the game, and I was like, man, I don't think that he expected that. He was like, bro, neither did I. I was like, same here. Like, I don't even know a student who's going to do that until he actually did it. But it was good to see that the unpredictability. And the defense was contagious, like all night. You could see it was rubbing off on everybody, even on the sideline. Everybody was standing up. Everybody was yelling. Everybody was adding fuel to the fire that we saw on the court. You know what I mean? So they looked like the team tonight that won 13 straight, not the team that we saw the last 2 games.
Yeah. And, I really did notice that we said it before. Our bench, because of the time they've been developed, is the better bench against most teams in the NBA, I would say. We have one of the best benches, and that definitely showed for Miami. There were times that Cade got to rest tonight that Hero was on the floor, and that meant that when Cade was out there, that Hero would either have to be pushed minutes and be tired, or he'd have to go to the bench. And, we were able to play with that a little bit more today too. And our bench just really outperformed theirs as well. And they just really bring, I mentioned to you last time what I wanted to see was like the dog pound out there. Guys like Reed and Holland and Green on the court together, and Jenkins, and Stu, of course. And, those guys really feed off of each other. And it was just fun to see because they just really bring the energy.
Totally agree. And also, guys, I'm seeing a lot of Ivy love tonight, a lot of Jaden love tonight. Mega Hustler, what did he say? What did his comment say? He mentioned Jaden. He said the Ivy haters will duck his performance tonight. And guys, this is why we always say, like, you can't be prisoners of the moment. You can't say definitively we need to make a move after 1 or 2 games. Like, a lot of the same people who were saying that that Jaden looks terrible and this and that are now saying, not saying they're hearing this chat, but they're saying in Pistons Twitter and elsewhere that, he played great. This is the Jaden we looked at, and it's like, this is it's the peaks and valleys we talked about, all that stuff, right? So got to give these guys time, and we're seeing the benefits of doing that. Boss, going to the third quarter, the second half, really, like this was that's the fourth quarter. Once again, this was the third game, starting from the beginning of the game. This is the third time they've had a double-digit lead in the first quarter and allowed the opposition to quickly erase it. Third straight game. They got to work on that. We got to look at both sides. The Boston game against the Celtics, the last game, and then tonight, they've all had double-digit leads in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And they allowed the opposition to cut into it. Game against the Celtics, they were up 10. They're up 13 against the Magic. They're up 10 again tonight against the Heat, all in the first quarter. And all those leads were cut to about 3 points each time. So I have to say this, though, to the Pistons' credit, they did respond better when it happened. Like, we don't want it to happen, but when it does happen, you mentioned the 9-0 run that they went on right after the Heat went on their run to kind of push that lead back up. And that was bittersweet for me because I was glad to see it, right? That they responded. But the fact that they did it so quickly, boss, tells me that they got complacent again, right? It wasn't like they were struggling with this team because this team was like just as good as them, or we're even mano a mano. It was like it was evident as soon as they got back on it that they were better and they took the lead right back up. So it was a little frustrating because you knew it was there. It's just like you just got to focus a little bit more. Yeah,
I think that they only led maybe a couple of times by like 1 or 2 points in the beginning of the first, and then they would get it close and we would extend it again. They got close in the fourth. But I agree. There were some times, like you mentioned transition, like there were some times that we didn't get, they read that we weren't getting up the after we would score, we wouldn't get back fast. And that's when they would go to, both teams are good at that. So both teams are good about getting up the court. So there were a few times that changed them some momentums, and both teams had 11 steals tonight too, and 3 blocks. I guess we had equal stocks. It looks like I'll have to double check that, but I know steals are. So it's they're just as handsy as us. But I'm curious to see points off of turnovers because we had a lot of turnovers again. But so did they. But I feel like we really took advantage of our offensive possessions. That's another thing, is like we weren't missing on multiple possessions in a row. Right. Help them come back. They kind of did it off of turnovers and off of their momentum.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm seeing it in the comments as far as with the lineups tonight. And I definitely have to agree. My brother actually texted me the same thing. And this is it. The Pistons would have won against Orlando if Bickerstaff put Paul Reed in the game for rebounding. And not even just Reed, but he was a huge part. But if we saw the guys who helped us weather the storm through that 13-game winning streak when our starters went down, I believe we would be on a 16-game winning streak right now.
I agree.
We would have beat the Celtics, right? When guys like DJ didn't play, we would have beat the Magic, right? And we would have won tonight. I think we would still be on a win streak, and we'd be at 16 right now, right? Yeah. So it's water under the bridge now. Hopefully this is something that doesn't have to happen again as far as understanding who needs to play more. But I do agree with Mega Hustler the third for sure that, we're it's becoming more and more clear through this evaluation phase. Yeah. What is the most successful lineups for this team, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree too. And it's just going to be a hard pill to swallow. I know a lot of people, especially in the comments right now, are saying, okay, well, LeVert didn't play tonight, so obviously his minutes were too much. But it's just a hard place for JB. But I think if I'm him too, I'm just realizing, these guys' minutes went up by like 5 to 6. The bench guys, about 5 to 6 or 4 to 6 average minutes from last game to this game, and they just really hustled. And we just I think we gotta learn to use some of our guys like LeVert also as depth, because he's someone that we can bring in when we need to. It's just gonna be because you guys know I like LeVert, of course, but I like all of these guys, honestly. Like I want them all. I have the same issue that JB is having right now. Like he wants to get everyone minutes. So again, with Karras resting today, JD resting, despite how bad the bruises are, it just gives, JB another opportunity. And I think he made the right calls, and we'll talk about it more, but he put in Daniss in the fourth when we really needed. What we needed was help, because that was when Cade turned it over 3 times. He got double teamed 3 times by Davion Mitchell, who is a fantastic defender. And then Jenkins came in to help relieve Cade of that load. And it wasn't even just, we know that Daniss can score, but it was also just for ball handling. It's another guy to bring up the court. It's the one that Cade can give it to and trust that he, can keep it away from defenders. And so JB, is aware of what we see in these guys too. So that just made me feel good to see Daniss in there because, critics might have said, well, he was going to go for a vet,
Yeah,
in
for
that
sure.
moment. So
Yeah.
he
It
sees what
is.
we see. And so now it's just, what worked tonight, they just got to apply what works tonight going forward. They experimented the last 2 games. They came back to this. It works. And now I'm really curious to hear. I'm sure he'll be asked about it in the post-game presser about some of these things. And we have Atlanta on Monday. That's another good team. Another, they got
We're gonna beat them.
Daniels,
We're gonna beat them.
Right. But they have guys like Dyson Daniels. Like, they have guys ball bothers. They're
For sure.
ball handlers.
Disruptors
So,
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Disruptor is a great word. So Daniss, that's who I would pick. And,
I'm with you.
to go in. So
Yeah.
we'll see it be applied.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. So we will leave it there, boss. Like you guys are coming in hot in the comments. Keep them coming, man.
Yeah.
Keep these comments. I just got a text from Jeremy too. Jeremy Hart, who is Daniss Jenkins' player and development coach. So I'll probably talk with him tonight after the game. We'll have him back on the show soon to talk about how they've been very professional and staying ready, like we always talk about, right? So shout out to you, Jeremy, if you're watching. I'm gonna shoot you a text after this game. We are going to chop it up, my brother, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, boss, let's get into some box scores, shall we? And take a look and see how these guys played individually.
Do it.
So let's go ahead and start with Cade Cunningham tonight. In 38 minutes, he had 29 points, 14 for 25 overall, 1 of 5 from 3, 0 for 1 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 8 turnovers. Got to get those down, bro. 2 steals, 1 block, and once again, 38 minutes. So go ahead and take off on C2.
Man, he was, just fantastic. And again, like I mentioned, kind of similar. He was played a minute and a half less than he did yesterday. So that's a very impressive stat line again for off a back-to-back, but he didn't look as exhausted. He didn't look as I guess exhausted is the word. He got it done beautifully. He was almost playing with his food in the third. He was getting to the rim every time. He went 3 for 3 in the first. Right away. He had that block on Mitchell that I loved. And then he also stuffed Adebayo's lob attempt. That's why it says we have 3 blocks, but I don't think that they counted them right. I'm going to go back and count blocks. Because he stuffed that one. He knocked away from Jovic to force a turnover. He had a steal on Adebayo that led to a basket for him. He got around the defense for that nice dunk in the second. That was one of my favorite plays of his tonight. And then in the fourth, the turnovers, he had 8 turnovers tonight. So that's another not great thing. He had 2 in a row where he was looking for first Stewart and then Ausar in the corner, and they both had moved, and he threw it right out of bounds. And then those 3 at the end with just turning into the double team. But so I know that those are easily cleaned up, and I'm sure he's going to be himself for that. But then he got the game extending field goal that extended it to 4 at the end. And then the points after that for us were the Jenkins free throws. And then he knocked the ball away from Powell in that possession to regain possession. So, and that he did that with 5 fouls. Yeah. So risky, but
But he did. Heads up play.
It was great. I love the way Cade played tonight. He played with a lot of passion, I feel like, but not a lot of anger. He was just finding that. And we saw he had how many free throws? 1?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's egregious, bro. 1?
I know. And that's just I don't know.
Shoot 25 times and only have 1 free throw.
We talked about this a little bit already, but it bothered me that the refs called Duncan for a touch on Powell, barely a hand touch that he got away from before Powell even shot the ball, and he got to shoot free throws for that. We thought it was a 4-point play, but ended up just being a 3-point play. But Davion Mitchell is touching Cade the entire way up the court.
Yes.
So if we're calling fouls, call them fairly. It's just that's what I think. I'm not gonna just make it equal both ways.
That's it. That's it.
But he powered through, and he did Cade things again. He's just phenomenal for us. Absolutely, man. Yeah, the Heat had no answer for him, especially early. Lady got a little careless. We're going to get to that. But early in this game, you could see they really didn't have an answer for him. I don't know what Davion Mitchell did to Coach Spo to have him starting on Cade this game. Maybe he didn't congratulate him on his 800th win or something like that. Yeah. I don't know, but that was mean. I felt like to have him to make that his primary assignment. I know he's a good defender, right? He's a very good perimeter defender. He's very pesky. He's very crafty, as we saw late in this game, but he's 6 feet. He's giving up about 75 pounds, 100 pounds to Cade. Cade is 6'7", so that's just tough. And you could tell early in this game, Cade was like, oh, barbecue chicken, mouse in the house.
and he started attacking Davion Mitchell early. And they kind of moved him off of him after that and kind of brought him back later. But I saw that Cade took advantage of that mismatch early in his game. But he was on a mission. Like, he wanted to end the streak tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You could see it. He came in, you mentioned how aggressive he was coming into this game. And from jump, he was just getting buckets, man. He looked like the 3-level scorer that we know him to be.
Yeah.
And he was exactly that. Whether it was from three, like, he only made 1 3, but you can see he's getting more confident with the 3 ball.
Mm-hmm.
He looks more comfortable taking them now. I said beginning of the year before game 1 that I thought Cade was going to get more 3s up this year.
Yeah.
And he's doing that, right? So I think even though his percentage is down, I think it's going to continually, rise as he continues to just get him up in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 3-level scorer from the 3 ball. He got it done in the mid range, in the post, at the rim, finishing with either hand, going in and yamming all over him, over the heat. He showed why he's so tough to cover, because he can get it done anywhere on the court, and he has a counter to his counter. So if you stop him on an initial drive, he's got so many counters he can go to. And with him being so big and strong, it's hard to stop him without fouling him, which is why I'm asking why he got 1 free throw attempt in 25 attempts.
I know.
25 shots. It's crazy.
It felt like they were double
shout out to
teaming.
him.
Yeah. And it felt like they were double teaming him early, and he was just working through those double teams. Then they laid off him for a while. Then he was just beating everybody. He was just literally beating the defense. And they started to double again in the 4th when he was driving it to the paint. But honestly, good. Spo's a great coach. So good calls there. But he just handled, I think, a lot of the double teams, a lot of the pressure very well. And for 14 to 25 is a lot of shots, but to have that 56% shooting night and that many shots on a back-to-back is very impressive. So I expect them to come out with this same energy, but even cleaner on Monday with the day's rest.
Right. And you mentioned the shots and you mentioned the minutes. Like, the minutes were still high, but the usage wasn't as high as we usually see, because he had other guys out there that could be secondary playmakers. So even though he was physically out there for a long time, mentally he didn't have the same load that he usually has. And that makes a lot of the difference. So when you have, like, when you play 38, but you got another ball handler out there for half of the time you're out there, it's more like 30, 33, 34 in actuality when you actually look at it that way, right? So that was good to see. Yep. And I want to cite his defense too, because the defensive effort was there as it has been all year. Another chase down block. This time the victim was Davion Mitchell. He has to be among the tops in the league for chase down blocks this year.
Truly. Yeah.
It's like he's doing it every game or every other game at least now. People are still trying him. But once again, the fact that he's willing to sprint back down the court and not just settle for taking the ball out the hoop and trying to get another score, he's still giving that 2-way effort on both ends of the court. And for him to still be as efficient as he was offensively, once again, shows his conditioning, shows that he's in shape. So I got to give him credit for that too. Did you see that missed foul call on Norman Powell when he pushed Cade out of bounds and they didn't want to give him the call at first? She was standing right there, and the other official had to come over and say, "Hey, that's a foul."
Yes, that was crazy. That was the same ref that called the weird one on Duncan. I just want to know. I want to know what she has against Detroit, what she's seeing out there, or
you mentioned it,
what it is, because I don't think necessarily individual refs have agendas in these leagues, but I'm just curious where I'm curious in terms of numbers, because some of them were, and she also did not call the one where Andrew Wiggins was grabbing Tobias up the court and it led to a turnover and them score, but he was pulling jersey. I was like, you're right there. Yeah. You're right there. But Duncan Robinson grazes, just touches Norman Powell before he's in shooting motion. What?
Can't call it, man.
But this is a rant we go on every time, I feel like, because we always end up back on Detroit versus everybody and just play through the whistles. Play through the whistles. So,
and that's the thing, because even despite that, had they closed this game out the way they were supposed to, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So I don't even want to blame it on that. You're right. That definitely it did happen. That's why I mentioned the Norman Powell no call. But had they closed this game, it still wouldn't have been a factor. They just got to work on that. Clifton says, on all y'all mother effing head, that's a reference to when Cade took all 5 of the Houston Rockets to the hoop last year and dunked on all 3 or 4 of them, including Amin. Was it Dylan Brooks that was still there? It was a few guys there. Tari Easton under the rim. I think Jalen Green was on the bench. It was early in the year. He said, all y'all muffin head. So shout out to him, because he did it again tonight when he took it to the rack and dunked on 3 or 4 people. So shout out to Cade. Now, you got to talk about everything. Yeah. We got to get to everything. At the end of the game, we need him to be better.
Yeah.
Right. He has to be more careful with the basketball in late game situations. I've seen a few in the chat talk about it. Him dribbling into double teams, spinning into double teams. He's got to be careful with that. We saw it against the Boston Celtics. It cost us. It happened again tonight. So he has to be aware, especially when he has a guy like Daniss Jenkins on the court with him as an outlet. That's why he's out there.
Well, he did
to be that safety valve.
3 turnovers.
Say again?
JB put him in after those 3 turnovers.
What do you mean? Oh, he did. Oh, he put Daniss in that. Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that. You sure he wasn't in there?
Positive.
Okay.
Because I noticed it because I was like, wait, this is actually exactly the call that I would make. Because I mentioned it earlier. Okay. It was
like he was in there. Okay.
No, he saw the turnovers happen. And then maybe for one, but at least 2 of them, he put Daniss out there after because he saw that Cade needed someone else to bring it up the court or someone else to give it to. And they're confirming too. Okay, so he wasn't in. So that's my bad. But once again, that just shows why you need to have him in there. We always say Cade is always at his best when he has another playmaker on the court with him. Yeah.
And this is another example of why. We've seen multiple games now where there's just too much attention on him because they know that he's the head of the snake. They know that he's the hub of the offense. So they're going to swarm. So he just has to be careful. And more than it's 2 things. He has to be careful with the basketball, and they need to make it easier on him by having another ball handler on the court. So as soon as the double team comes, or he can feel it coming, he doesn't feel to have to do everything to make the play despite it being there and all that stuff. Having a guy out there to help him just makes the game so much easier for him. And we saw the change when we had another guy in there, which we'll get to a little bit later. So I just want to make that point too. He's got to be more careful with the basketball, but to his credit, because he did have those turnovers where Davion Mitchell kind of picked his pocket a little bit again. Right, the 3 turnovers you mentioned.
He's very good at that. So it's not just like Cade's giving up to anyone. Like Davion Mitchell, he's very good at what he does.
Right. I'm just citing the timing of it.
Yes. Right.
Because Davion Mitchell, as we mentioned earlier, was on him for a big portion of the game. Right. And he wasn't doing that then.
Well, like one of the comments I highlighted earlier is a little further up, but you mentioned how right here. Joyce and Peters. I think Cade looked tired at the end with the turnovers, but maybe it was the Heat's defense. I don't know. To me, he looked a bit tired in the 4th. So like you mentioned too, like maybe it was, I mean, it's probably the defense and a bit of fatigue because it wasn't a 40-minute game back to back.
Right. So. Right. That's a good point too. That's a good point too. So the more, if you're going to have him out there for plus 35, you got to have him out there with another ball handler, right? Like we talked about. Yeah. Tom says, love JB playing Daniss more to put pressure off, take pressure off of Cade and J.I. Yes, exactly. You got to have him in the game. He's just steady, and we're going to get to him in full. But Tom, you were dead on with that for sure as well. Yes. So guys, let's go ahead and, one more thing with Cade. Despite that, I liked how he closed the game. Yes. Right. He did respond to hit a big shot when the Pistons were only up 2 to go ahead and put them up 4. And then he let Daniss pretty much ice the game after that. But he responded. Mm-hmm. He responded the way we want to see our star player respond, whether he makes mistakes or not. When they make a run, when they get close, when they challenge, you go to your guy and he goes and gets you a bucket. And that's what he did. So I got to give him credit for how he finished because he was steady for most of the game. He was really, really good for the whole game on both ends. So I don't want to take credit away from him for that, for sure.
Right. And it was a little bit, for me, honestly, just the way that Cade has been trying to take control of games close to the end. It was a little nerve-wracking seeing him drive to the basket. Yeah. Because we've seen in the past few games, like he'll go for those and they might go off the back of the rim or be short or roll away, even if they look good. Mm-hmm. So for him to get that also had to feel great for him. Yeah. And I mean, it felt great for me too, but it had to feel good for him.
Yeah, big confidence booster. You know, he knows he can do it, but it's just reinforcement when you actually do it in game, in big situations. So shout out to him for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. We will end it there with Deuce, guys, and we will move on to Duncan Robinson in his return to Miami in a Pistons uniform for the first time. All right. So guys, Duncan Robinson finished with 18 points on 7 for 14 overall, 3 of 9 from 3, 1 free throw, 1 for 1 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block in 32 minutes. So, boss, take off on Duncan Robinson with what you saw tonight.
Oh, man. I was happy for him because he missed his first 2 threes. I think he was trying to get hot early. Mm-hmm. It probably was because, you know, like you mentioned, they did a really nice tribute video for him. Natalie brought it up a few times that he was emotional. Like, you know, he was probably just trying to be like, all right, let me get into this game headspace because here I am. So he missed his first 2 and then immediately hit his next 2.
Exactly.
And so I was like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
In the some plays I had of that, because again, I think he played great tonight. Another great effort game. tough to go against the guys that you played with. You know, he was on Hero a few times. Like those guys were who I hated to play the most with the Heat. Like if they had Duncan and we were, got it this close again, I'd be like, oh no, we're done with, because who do you guard out of those
right
guys, you know?
Right.
But in the second, he had that really nice bounce pass to Reed in the paint for the basket. In the third, he had a layup that caused, I think we went up by 12 and it caused the Heat to take a timeout, but he came back fired up. He came back to the bench fired up.
I saw that.
I'd love to see that. He stole in the passing lane. He was just really bothering passes, whether he stole or got deflections as well. And that led to a Tobias layup. And then in the fourth, he caused a turnover that then he scored 2 on the other end. That was when he tipped it. And I think Stu got on the floor for it. Yeah. And then threw it up to him.
Yep.
And he got the layup. So just overall, like his defense really paid off his offense as well, because he ended up with only 3 threes after hitting 2 in the first. So to end with that just means that he was aggressive and definitely earned his minutes tonight.
For sure. Let's get some comments. So Duncan had a nice back turn steal against Miami. Yep. Just keep poking your nose. Exactly. Just be active. 100%. Give him the belt finally. Duncan deserves. We may see that. That might be a nice touch with him being. I think either him or maybe it could be a few guys. Though this is like it's.
Let us know.
Let us know who gets it. It's a great feeling when it's not like who gets the belt. Oh, it's definitely that guy. Like it's nice when it's like I don't know. Yeah. Because that means everybody's contributing.
There's a few.
Yeah, for sure. Clifton says he has fully accepted his role and always on aggressive mode. I love it. Yep.
I agree.
Organic says Duncan had that Fontecchio over me energy. I love it. Yeah, for sure. Definitely was a nice homecoming for sure. Real quick, Sean, my actual name is Keith. My last name is John. I have 3 first names. That's why I go by Deuce, because I'm the second of 2 kids. Anyway, just want to put that out there for you. But yeah, it was a great game from Duncan Robinson, man. I thought he played really, really well. Still a lot of minutes for me, but I think maybe because he's playing at home and because he's playing well, that he got rewarded for it. I don't want to see him really over 30, but 32 is okay if he's playing the way he played. You touched on this, boss, but he did a really good job of finding guys when the Heat would close out too far on him. Yeah. When they would extend too far on him, we would see in the past, he would just look to move the ball, but he would be hesitant when he wouldn't get a shot off. But he looked more comfortable reacting to what he saw and being more decisive with what he saw. And I think it's important that we see that more consistently. That's going to be important for Cade.
I agree.
When opposing teams are trying to force the ball out of his hands or when teams are stretching out and closing too hard to Duncan, being able to be decisive with the basketball and make the right play off of that is going to be important, right? Yeah. At least until Jaden gets back and returns to the lineup fully healthy, because we know he's really good at that. Yeah. If once he catches the ball in open space, he's going to make the right decision. He's going to make you pay. He's going to put pressure on the rim. So it was nice to see Duncan doing a better job of that tonight and just being smart and methodical with the basketball and having intention and not hesitating when he caught it. That was big.
Yeah, I agree. And he also only had 2 fouls, and I think they were both very smart fouls under the basket, if I recall.
I agree. Yep.
So again, just when you're going with that aggressiveness, you're intentional, like you said, you're just reading the court well, playing smart. I'm sure he knew some of the movements, some of the things from being, a guy in the Heat for so long.
Right.
But he just played again very well, and to have 18 points and again only 3 threes, like just shows how aggressive he was today. So
very clean.
Yeah, very, very, and only 1 free throw too. So he was just very nice tonight, and I'm excited for him. And like I agree with what Clifton said earlier. Like he's now adopted that aggressive mindset, and I think that we're going to see effort from him every time. Is what it seems like. Like since those first few games where we felt like we weren't. He's definitely made up for it, because I'm sure that JB said, go out there and show me why you deserve to be out there for 30 minutes.
Facts. No, that's a great point. I like how you said that. Show me why you deserve it. Because I know some of the complaints here have been, guys are getting minutes because they're vets and things like that. So
did you see JB tell Cade to go sit down when Cade was trying
I didn't. So what happened?
There was a timeout, and it was at the end of the game, and they were talking. This is when the refs like stopped the free throws because they were telling Duncan like the ball's over here. So after that, we had a timeout, and I think Cade was also involved in the talking, because then he came up to JB. JB was like, "What? Why you do? Why?" And Cade was trying to give reasons, and you just see JB just be like, "Go sit down." So JB is still their coach. Like he's not just gonna let them walk over. Like he's still gonna call out,
Coach them.
silly things. Yeah, because he's like, this is no time for text. This is no time for chippiness. Like, let's just finish this nice.
Yeah.
And then I saw they showed just Cade and Duncan laughing and talking about it on the bench, but coach didn't want to see that, so I get it.
Some good heat of the moment stuff. He went about the right way. I like that.
That's why that's just what reinforces in my mind that he gave Duncan, like he told Duncan something similar to like, you have to be aggressive.
Yeah, that's true. Clifton said he thought the turnover was unnecessary. That's very possible too, for sure. Absolutely, man. Yeah. So coach is still like, he goes to bat for these guys.
Yeah.
But that's why they listen to him when he says, go sit down, Cade.
Yeah.
Right. He's earned that respect because they know that he's in the foxhole with them. And I think that's a great point you make, boss, for sure. Great point. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Let's go to a star Tasmanian backbone of the defense, Thompson. Tonight he finished, guys, with 10 points, 5 for 9 shooting, no threes, no free throws, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. Got to get those down a little bit, bro. 1 steal in 30 minutes. What were your thoughts on a star Thompson tonight?
Okay, so I thought he had great rim presence, the rebounds.
Yes.
That's awesome. We needed that, especially with JD out. I know we have Stu. I know we have Reed, but like we just needed someone else under the rim. So that was great to see. I also thought he had really good court vision. Yeah, he had some turnovers. I think basically he had turnovers in the beginning and at the end.
Yep.
Between, he did pretty good. I think he made the right calls, right decisions. I will have to say, I did not like his perimeter defense today. Because there were a few times, it reminded me, he had a few times of that, like that ankle, almost like ankle breaker that Brunson had on him for that 3 that won the series. I saw that a lot tonight. He gets a lot of space and then he was getting beat by guys like Tyler Hero, by guys like Norman Powell. He was getting beat and then he'd have to reach where he wouldn't be in front of him anymore. So I don't know, just for what I know Ausar to be, I didn't love his perimeter defense.
Okay.
And for a team like Miami that, they have the 3-point shooters, just needs to be a little cleaner. But he made up for it in other ways, obviously. Was still impactful and disruptive. I like that word that you use. I mean, 8 rebounds is awesome. And 10 points. He was attacking the basket more, I felt, and like a little more clean. Again, 56%. That's big for him, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Percent shooting. He didn't have any free throws attempted. We know that probably wouldn't have gone great. But
I'm okay with it though, because he was still aggressive.
Right. And so so that's basically where I'm at. Is I liked the rebounds. I liked the offense. I didn't love the perimeter defense.
Okay. Let's get a couple comments real quick. Sean says, sorry, give me that Thompson. Right. On there, Chris Brown, give me that for sure. 313 says Tightrope Thompson. Ausar was good.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So let's get to that. So I'll start with this, guys. Both sides you talk about.
Yeah.
Ausar, he still needs time to improve his handle before I'll feel comfortable with him trying to take his man in the ISO. I don't want to see him trying to take his man in the ISO. And it didn't happen a ton, but we've seen, for me, a big enough sample size, it just doesn't go well. Either, he doesn't get a good shot. He doesn't get a shot on the rim. He's getting, he's fumbling with the ball. He's getting it taken from him. I don't want to see him doing that too much. I will much rather see him just catching the ball off of player movement and then just getting downhill and going.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's an off ball cut or even a DHO from the top, from the very top, like a handoff where he's catching the ball, dribble handoff, he catches it and then he's going. But he's getting a head start before he gets the ball. Like I like to see him being more of a finisher instead of an initiator or creator. When he asked me, he's at his best.
That's the whole wings that we talked. Like JB taunted about how we have some of the best wings in Ron and Ausar, so why not use them as them?
Right. So that's something I want to So I want to see that more. He is, but you mentioned he is improving his scoring around the rim.
Yeah.
And the mid range is looking better and better. That's going to be, I think, his calling card for this season, guys. I don't think we're going to see a drastic jump from him from 3 this year, and that's okay. I think it's already better than last year, but he's not really taking a lot of them. So I think he's going to have to work his way out gradually. It may not come as quick as we want it to, right? But that's okay as long as he's still finding ways to attack and be effective and get good shots. And he does that in the perimeter. We saw even a few times over his left shoulder where he had a nice finish from the corner, right? In the mid range. So he's getting better. He's getting more comfortable, but it just seems like he's working in that area right now and then trying to gradually work his way out. And I am perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
As far as the defense, that tightrope was nice. That cross-court steal and tightrope. He is super duper athletic. Greg said he plays on his tippy toes.
Yeah.
And I love that because that's what helps him to be a great defender on ball. He wasn't great tonight, but that's what helps him overall be so great of a defender. He never plays on his heels.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So he's got really good balance and dexterity.
Yes.
So much so that Coach Bickerstaff called him tonight. He said he's the most complete defender he's ever coached.
Okay.
Complete defender. Like that's a high mark. That's a high regard to hear your coach say that. He said that quite a bit about our guys. Like this has been the best, and fill in the blank. Right. He said Cade is the best star he's coached, and now Ausar is the best defender he's ever had. So I got to give him credit for helping those guys become that as well. Like they had the base, but he's helping them become that and get better and better. So I want to give Ausar credit for the defense that he played. That's why I call him the backbone of the defense. Yeah. It's because he can guard 1 through 5 in small ball lineups. Like he's just a disruptor, man. So even though it wasn't his best, like you mentioned in certain possessions, I thought overall he played a really solid and clean game. What about you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't disagree with that. And I think this is 2 games in a row, even though I can't recall the Celtics one, but even though we lost the last one, it's just 2 games in a row he's come out confident. Yeah. He comes out a little more comfortable of like who he is and what he wants to do on the court, I feel. So that's good to see because that consistency will just go far. I think, like yesterday it looked good. Today it looked even better. Yeah. Monday we'll see, it just keeps growing that way. So
Right. Yeah. You got another fan. Totally Clip said, boss too cute. Yeah, she already making me look bad, man.
It was really hard for me to say something negative about one of the players.
I mean, it was tough to say too much negative about anybody tonight because this was a great team win overall. So that's what we want to see for sure. But you definitely got some fans in here for sure, per usual.
You guys.
Y'all already know. All right, let's keep it moving, boss. Let's move to Uncle T. Tobias Harris tonight, guys. So tonight, guys, Tobias finished with 26 points on 10 of 12 overall.
Oh, crazy.
His only misses were threes. He was 4 of 6 from 3. Yeah. 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 2 assists, 3 turnovers in 31 minutes. Very efficient basketball. Maybe one of his best games this season. So, boss, I will let you have at it first. What did you see from Uncle T tonight?
He was just feeling himself in the paint. Doesn't matter where. He was getting it.
I appreciate it, Tom. Good look, bro. They left me hanging. Like, I appreciate it. Y'all got to get my confidence up. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The of all of us is Tom. So.
Shout out Tom. Go ahead.
So I mean, again, just feeling himself. The fact I didn't even connect the dots that his 2 misses were from threes, which means that every time he backed someone down in the paint, he scored. Yeah. That's nuts. Guys, they have a 7-footer on their team. They have Bam Adebayo on their team. How is Tobias Harris? Tobias Harris beating you guys down there. Yeah. Oh, I love it. True. I will say he did. Here's the thing. Tobias, stop throwing lobs.
Yeah, he did it again. Stop. 2 of them tonight. Yeah, I saw that too. I thought it was just me. I saw both of those two like, bro, please just abort. No more. Bounce pass all day long. Go ahead.
I didn't even write the first one down, but then when the second one happened, I was like, I gotta write this down because stop it. And you know what? That night, this impressive night from Tobias Harris, he hit the first shot of the game, a corner 3, but then he got 2 quick fouls to keep me in. And they did keep him in for a little bit but then we saw Miami start to attack him a little more. Right. He had to call out and have a guy switch over. Yep. But then they kept him in and brought in, I think, Ivy for Duncan first. And then kind of got a look at a potential starting lineup. Yeah, man. But the fact that he got those 2 quick fouls and then still had the night that he had is impressive because he cleaned it up fast. He figured it out. He stayed out there, didn't get into trouble. And then, went for 10 for 12 shooting. That's just nuts. And he scored in the second when Miami was keeping it close. He scored 5 in a row. He had a 3 and then they scored, but then he got a 2. Like he just kept it. He was a very big part of this win tonight because they just couldn't stop him. They couldn't. They could not.
Yeah, they couldn't mess with him. It was crazy. Like you mentioned it, like I thought it was going to be a long night for him just based on how it started because the foul trouble too. Yeah. Like he picked up, 2 quick fouls in the first 70 seconds of the game. Like by the time you got to the 10:50 mark in the first quarter, he already had 2 fouls. Yeah. So I was like, this is going to be a long night for him. But he rebounded, man. He was able to manage that. You saw him kind of kind of signaled to coach after the second foul. He said, I'm straight.
Yeah.
And usually that only happens if you're a vet.
Mhm.
If you're a young guy and you pick up 2 fouls and you like, coach is like, nah, bro, come on, get your tail over here. Come sit down, right? But he trusted Tobias and he allowed him to play through it, and he rewarded him by not picking up that 3rd foul in the first quarter, right? I think it wasn't until the 3rd quarter he actually picked up another one. So that was great to see.
Yeah.
All ball, last game, all ball.
Yeah.
He was cooking tonight, man.
Yeah.
Would you say this was his best game of the year? It's definitely up there, right?
Yes, because we've seen him. He's especially with Ivey gone, he has been who we rely on for offense.
Yeah.
And I think he does his best out there on defense.
For
Again,
sure.
but when you got guys like Khalil Ware on your team and these young guys, like you're gonna beat him on defense, but that sucks if you can't stop him on his offense, you know?
Right.
But I definitely think that's who I think is gonna get the belt tonight, to be honest.
Tobias?
Yes.
I could see it. I mean, just from beginning, like if you're gonna go strictly basketball, yeah. I mean, I think they could be nice and give it to Duncan because he's back home.
That's like,
right?
I wouldn't be mad, but I can see them doing that for him as well because he had such a great performance at home. But he was Tobias was our second leading scorer. He had more points than Cade for a little bit there too. Cade eventually caught up, but Tobias was the leading scorer for a good portion of the game.
Got you. Okay. Let's go to a super chat from Maddie coming back around. Appreciate you, bro. He says Tobias couldn't miss. Unc had to show him how it's done tonight. Yeah, he definitely went back in the Tobias time machine for sure. Marco Rolo for sure. But yeah, Maddie, I totally agree, man. He was on fire for tonight. Like it's nice to see him this efficient. Yeah. Right? He usually is pretty efficient, but 10 for 12 was impressive. His only misses were threes. Without those threes, he's 10 for 10.
That's crazy. Well, he missed some free throws, right?
Well, yeah. As far as field goals, he would have been perfect, but free throws, he missed as many free throws as he missed shots.
Yeah, and I just
crazy.
Brought that up because I just remember he was a little. Some of them were, or the last 2 were a little clutch, and so I could tell that he was upset about it.
Yeah, he missed the 2 at the end.
Yeah,
that was kind of uncharacteristic. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
from him because he usually is pretty, as a vet, he's usually pretty clutch in those kind of situations.
Right.
Late, but it was just one of those things. It was just, it happens.
You can do him 100 times, and sometimes it just doesn't go in. So
right. 100%. Let's get to a few more comments on Tobias. Sean is silly. Handsome Tom, give credit to Handsome Keith. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. We know Boss is the prettiest person here, so we can let her have it tonight. It's all good. BC says Uncle T needs some new glasses.
Just stop throwing lobs. That's all you have to do.
Right, because everything else is fine.
The lob. That's it.
Right. Everything else is just fine. It's just them lobs, bro. Just let them go. That's all we're asking for. But aside from that, he really played too well, man. He had 2 over the lobs for sure. Y'all are hilarious with these comments, man. But yeah, absolutely. But great game. So overall, y'all want to give him a lot of credit. We've talked about the lineups and things like that in the past, but I think at least for now, he earned the right to be there for at least another game. Yeah. Right. So I'm not going to get on him too much at all about the lineup, but overall he was probably the best Pistons tonight. And we don't win this game without him.
Yeah.
We don't win this game without him.
And we'll talk about it later, but especially the way with Reed played, I'm like, yeah, put in the big 2. Yeah. Reed he had we'll get to it 19 minutes. He needs 20 a game. Bring him in as the backup. That dude is sure. Crazy. We'll get to him because I have lots to say. But
for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I know that's your guy. Yeah. I know that's your guy. So we're definitely going to let you tee off on B-Ball Paul for sure when it's time to get to him. For now, guys, we will move on to the 5th starter in this game tonight, and that was Isaiah Stewart, who started this game for Jalen Duren. Tonight, guys, Stu had 9 points on 4 for 7 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, 1 of 3 from the free throw line, 8 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 block in 29 minutes. What did you see from Beef Stew Dog Pound Senior tonight, boss?
I'm reading my notes. I was like, oh yeah, that was my favorite moment. I was like, well, actually that one was my favorite moment of his.
Yeah.
But the first one that made me laugh was when Adebayo ran into him. That's my least favorite kind of call in the NBA is when, and Adebayo, I can't even say is smaller than Stu, but when a small guy runs into a big guy and falls over and they call it on the big guy, it's like, what did he do? He just was big in the way and big. And so, but Stu made me laugh because he was talking to the ref and he goes up, he's just flexing. He's like, yeah, this is what it was. It's just me.
He kept saying if I beat him to the spot and then he gets there and he goes like this, how is that a foul on me? It's a no call.
It's like, well, it's just the whole idea of who's seeking out the contact. Adebayo went low and he went towards Stu, who was in front of him,
Mhm.
and he fell over. Just goes to show how strong Stu is. And
Yes.
it makes you question some of these. I mean, he does move on some screens sometimes, but some of these offensive screens, I'm like, some of these guards are just too little to run into Stu. But
Right.
anyways, that first block that he got, and the first where he went up high on Hero, he got at the very top, and Hero tried to get it over him.
Yep.
That's how high it was. Hero
Yep.
arched that ball to get over him, and he still got it at the tippy top.
Mhm.
He had hook shots over both Ware and Adebayo. Again, how big is Stu? 6'9". Ware is 7'1".
7-1.
And he's long. He has like Tajon arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's Stu's still attacking the basket on you, and he's still
exactly.
over you. That's crazy.
But that's once again, that's the improved post play I was talking about when it came to Stu. The improved footwork, the improved finishing, using either hand, using the glass to be able to do it. It's one thing to have an advantage on one guy. You know, if say you're stronger and you just bully him every time. Okay. Yeah. But he was doing it against multiple defenders with multiple builds. Like you just mentioned, Kel'el Ware is 7'1". He's long and rangy. So Stu said, okay, I'm going to just body you. Like you're tall, but I'm going to just get you out of position. And once I get you there, I'm just going to protect the ball and put it over my shoulder. And he did it.
His footwork in the paint is very good because he gets guys stutter stepping. He's like, oh, is he going up now? Is he going? And they might not leave their feet, but he goes up when they're not ready.
Exactly. Exactly.
He just had insane effort at the rim to either get his shots or he would followed up his miss. He had that one where he followed up his own miss and it resulted in the and one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we brought it coast to coast. He missed both of those free throws, but I just love to see it because again, it felt like everybody just slowed down.
Yep.
Like it felt like a whistle was blown or something. Because why is Isaiah Stewart bringing it from coast to coast?
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's just phenomenal. And he got into foul trouble again tonight, but not silly fouls, I would say.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
Stopping people at the rim fouls.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sean says, Stewie is my nephew. He will always be Stewie to me. Is he really your nephew or are you just being funny? Can we please stop calling him Beef Stew? He is our sweet boy, Stewie. If he's really your nephew, if you can confirm he's really your nephew, then we can talk about having that change. But I've heard him say he likes beef stew. I've heard him say he likes beef stew personally. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can confirm that for us. But either way, he was great tonight, man. He was great. His presence in the post. Defensively is everything. It's everything, man. And we talked about it before, boss. He does a good job of keeping teams off of the offensive glass.
Yes.
He does a good job of holding guys and teams to one possession. He's really good at that. You mentioned the Tyler Hero block. I guess he hasn't gotten a memo yet on Stu. I don't know what it is. But like I mentioned, his offensive game in the post, like I just like how he's able to score against multiple guys. It wasn't just Kel'el Ware because he was not as strong. It was Bam. And Bam is strong. Bam is built similar to him as far as their strength and their size and how wide they are and things like that. There's like so, and he was still able to go at him and still score. You don't see too many guys going at Bam Adebayo in a post and being able to just score like that.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
Bam's an all-star.
Yes.
Bam is a very good player.
Oh, very good player.
But Stu, and he's someone that's given Duran problems in the past.
Yep.
But Stu, again, I feel like he's been this way for a while now. Like, obviously, his defensive presence is insane, but I feel like the last few games, he's willingly attacked the basket no matter who it is. And I feel like this is what we're going to see, guys, next week against Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna say, why not? Why not you two?
Oh, absolutely. Like, guys, I've started this real quick. Last year, remember the game you mentioned last game when he pulled on Giannis's jersey and he got ejected?
Yes.
Before that ejection, he was shutting Giannis down, guys. Who remembers that game? We were up like 15 points in the first half. I know you remember. Up 15 points in the first half. And on one particular play, like you could see he was really into this game. As Giannis is bringing the ball up court, Stu was like back going like this. Like, come here, come on. Ready for him, like ready, trying to defend him. He was like, he takes on that challenge, man, and he shut him down. It wasn't until after Stu got ejected that the Milwaukee Bucks came back and won that game. They came back from 15 down and they erased the lead quickly.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't there. He's one of the best. Like, there is no other guy I want to be able to guard guys like Bam, guys like Giannis. There's nobody else I want. Like, he is Cat, for example, who last year we could have had him. So Stu is he's just one of those guys, man. He's one of those guys. And even tonight on Bam, he forced Bam into some tough shots.
Yep.
When Bam wasn't able to get a good shot off, right?
What
so
what his stat line was, because You would
Oh,
think.
Bam?
Yeah, he was 15 and 10. So, but
That's average. Yeah, it's okay. It's mid for him.
That's Paul Reed.
Right.
He was
Facts.
13 and 10. But
Facts.
But yeah, I completely agree. And like I mentioned last game, like Stu stood on the court and stared down the Magic until they all left to their locker. So I knew he was going to come in here and want to win or want to contribute as much as he can, and he did.
Mm-hmm. For sure. BC said we had to go with Paul Reed at the 4 because Stu got ejected that game. And that was before Paul Reed was Paul Reed now, before he was bigger and stronger. But yes, Beasley, that was the game. That was exactly the game for sure. Just finishing up on him, we talked about it before. I'm going to say it again. You see how much the Pistons were able to get out and run with him in that starting unit? Yeah. Just helping the Pistons get stops and turnovers and get out in transition over and over. That's why he actually said at halftime, he reiterated, he said that the Pistons he said we had to get back to who we are. Yep. Which is getting stops and getting out in transition. Yep. Right? So that's when we are at our best. Mm-hmm. Like when he's on the floor, regardless of who's alongside him in the front court, the Pistons are best at getting out in transition just because of his ability to be able to play good defense in the post, in the paint, and help get stops and turn that into offense. And as far as one more thing, boss, as far as we always say with Stu, is that you can't really tell his impact based on the stat sheet. He does so many. That's why you see 29 minutes and 9 points. He's the ultimate deceiver when it comes to the box score. And tonight he had a play that stood out to me that won't get any credit, but it just is the epitome of him impacting the game without things showing up on the stat sheet. That's not the play. My bad. It was a play. That wasn't the play. That was a JI play. My bad. I'm gonna find it. But I'll just explain it to you. There was a play where Norman Powell was driving to the basket from the top of the key. Yeah. And Stu comes over, and Powell he's thinking about going for the shot, but he sees Stu coming backside, and he tries to pivot, and he loses his footing, and he turns the ball over. Yeah. Yep. That's not a block. That's not a steal. That's just Stu playing good defense and causing a turnover.
It's intimidation.
Yes. It's intimidation. So
yesterday on the Magic that he had an open 3 and I saw him drive in towards Stu and I was like, oh man, this kid. Yeah. And I don't think he got a basket. I think it ended up in he didn't get a basket, but it ended up their possession anyways. I don't think it was a foul, but I was like, I'm scared for him. He was ready. He doesn't know him. And so it's just his presence. And we've seen it in multiple teams. We've seen guys literally turn around.
Right.
Try to change their mind last minute, which results in turnovers.
Exactly.
Because they see Stu in front of them. So.
100%. So I just wanted to point that out because we always say people who don't watch the games, they wonder why Isaiah Stewart is so important to this team. They wonder why he's in the game. And it's just you got to watch the game. Yeah. If you don't, because he does the dirty work. He doesn't care about the glamorous plays or even the stat sheet. He doesn't care about any of that. He just takes pride on that end of the court. Right. And he just wants to go ahead.
Yeah. He wants to play hard. He wants to win. He wants to contribute.
Yeah. And he does it every game. So I'm not going to harp on the starting lineup too much tonight because we've talked about it at length. Yeah. I just love the way the Pistons are able to get to who they are, which is defense, turning it into offense, and getting easy hoops for everybody. And even things like that, we talk about Cade and his usage. Yeah. That helps. Yeah. When Stu was able to get a block or a steal, and Cade is just watching the transition bucket, that's a possession. He didn't have to do anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So things like that are important to our guys staying fresh. So I like to see that from us as a team because it's contagious. Like we said, it's contagious and it makes guys want to continue to ramp up the defense even more. Go ahead. Comment.
Yeah. From Camille, Detroit was first and Miami was second in points in the paint. And today
you said that
54-76 in that area. They fell below their season average while we scored almost 20 more than ours. Yeah. And that was the thing that I didn't like yesterday is that the Magic had almost 20 more points in the paint than we did. Why? I mean, a lot of that was Tobias and Reed and Stu, but it was a lot of our guys, So I just like that because it just goes back to what Stu was saying about getting back to who we are. And it's the defensive end, but also points in the paint. Like as mentioned, we're first, and then yesterday we lost when we didn't win that battle, and tonight we won that battle by a big margin.
It's nice too because like a lot of people, who do watch the Pistons somewhat, they feel like Stu is just a defender who can spread the floor.
Yeah.
But when he's doing this in the post, man, it's a whole nother animal you have to deal with.
Yeah.
That most people don't really expect to see from a guy like him. So I just like the growth that we're seeing from him all around, man. Like we always say he gets as close and he's getting closer and closer and closer to his ceiling as physically possible because he just continues to work at his game.
Yeah.
And just continue. Go ahead.
Sorry. He's the longest tenured Piston with us. And so it may seem like, he's older, but he's still young. He's what, 25, 26?
He's 20. I think he's 24.
So that's incredible to be doing this, and so, yeah.
Here's the play I was talking about, guys. So just his presence alone is what caused that turnover. It wasn't a block, wasn't a steal. It's just knowing he's there to swat the shot away if you do put it up. So once again, just the effort. He's just great, man. He's a Pistons lifer. Like he needs to be here for his entire career because just the mentality that he brings and the way he rubs off on his teammates and the culture setting is great.
Exactly. I agree. He's a lifer because he just embodies everything that is Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit Pistons. But I grew up with Detroit Pistons as a fan with the 80s, 90s team. Like whenever we go back to kind of our bad boys, our tough defense stuff, it's really we thrive as a franchise. So, and he
absolutely
embodies everything about that.
And you guys hit on the head. We're talking Miami, right? Talking Miami Heat. He is our Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
As far as just a culture setter, they have Heat culture. We got the dog pound. You know what I'm saying? Like this is who we are, and he's a big part of that foundation. Losing a guy like him, you lose a lot of your culture. You lose a lot of your backbone. So I'm not even gonna put that in the air. Like he is going to be here. Period. We're gonna leave that there. All right.
Before we move on, I just want Sean's asked this twice. Boss, have you seen Scooby at halftime? We have to discuss it. I have not. I don't know who Scooby is. So guys, I live in Denver, so I have to watch on League Pass, and they don't really show halftime content. It's kind of just commercials.
I don't know who Scooby is either. Who's Scooby? Yeah, I'm not sure what that is about.
About Scooby, because it sounds like a dog, but
like Scooby Doo, Scooby. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let us know about that. Let us know. We'll come back to it. All right, guys. Let's go to some reserves, and we will call it a night. So let's start with your boy, B-Ball Paul. We know he played 6 minutes last game against the Orlando Magic. Tonight, that was tripled. He had 19 minutes tonight, and guys, he put up 13 points on 5 for 9 shooting, 1 or 2 from 3, 2 or 2 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, and once again, 19 minutes. So I'm going to let you have at your boy, Paul Reed, first. What'd you see?
10 rebounds today seems low because he touched the ball every time it came off the rim on both ends.
Yeah.
He was down there. If he didn't get the rebound, he touched it. He was down there. He was down there for every rebound. He did phenomenal. He had a blocked lob attempt, just the offensive rebounds to keep the ball alive. He was hustling for the rebounds. He was there's some guys that like, if they were in, like, I'm picturing Joel Embiid. If he was in there with that many other elbows, he'd be hunched over, holding his head.
Right.
Going out, bloody nose. I don't know how Paul Reed doesn't have bloody noses every 5 seconds because he is in there.
Yeah, he's fearless.
He tipped, and at the end of the first, he tipped Hero's shot. They were trying to build momentum because they were coming back after a lead, and he tipped that. It just hustled, and that wasn't at the rim. That was on the perimeter. It's like he's everywhere. Facts. And the second he ended the Heat 12-0 run with that corner 3.
Mm-hmm.
The King loves.
Right.
And then just huge offensive rebounds in the third quarter for kickouts. He got called for fouls for free throws. He was just phenomenal. And I want to see so much more of him.
Yeah.
And even if I don't know what their lineup's going to be, but a 2 big lineup would guarantee that he gets more minutes. Regardless, he needs more than 8. He needs at least 12 or more. He needs to play the last. If he's coming in for bigs, he needs to play the last 4 minutes of every quarter at least.
Yeah. I think whenever Stu or JD sits, it needs to be Paul Reed in the game.
Yep.
Whichever one. And that's why I want them to start. So that way he can guarantee himself some minutes as that third big consistently, right?
Yeah.
Just makes sense. So we're saying as far as Scooby-Doo, I did see a few responses. Sean says, sorry, boss. Christian and Scooby Dog have done the halftime show for Celtics. Oh, yeah. I saw that last game where, he's doing a handstand with two basketballs, and then the dog is like walking on the ball like he's about to fall off. And yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Scooby Snacks, yeah, for sure. So you wouldn't know that unless you were here. But I think
they only play like I've seen the clips of the Cade's draft day every game. I can quote it. But,
Organic Lindo says, boss out there in Denver with Pistons legend Scott Hastings. Is that where he's at? He's in Denver? I didn't know that.
He's a announcer, not announcer. Is he an announcer? Yeah, he is. He's an announcer.
Really?
I don't know the word. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Not announcer, or like is
he like one of the commentators for the games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's news to me. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. All right, cool. All right, guys. So let me see. Oh yeah. So as far as Paul Reed, so here's what I saw from Paul Reed tonight from B-Ball Paul. You mentioned it already. His energy is off the charts.
Insane.
It's like he has so much nervous energy from sitting the last couple games. He just couldn't wait to get on the court and just exert, put his imprint on his game. And he did that, man. He was itching to play. You could just see it. Yeah. But once again, we talked about how Stu was on the defensive glass, right? Holding them to one shot.
Yeah.
They weren't holding us to one shot.
No.
And that's because Paul Reed was all over the offensive glass.
Yeah.
You would see him at times often fighting off 2 or 3 Heat players.
Yeah.
Trying to get the rebound, just going up and wanting it more or tapping it out for another possession. Like, I just love his energy in this effort, man. He brings it every single game. Guys like that are very important in the playoffs. Yep. Guys who you can count on to do their job every game.
Yep.
Right? Shots are not always going to fall, but you can always bring the effort. Yeah. When you have guys who are mature and don't have mental lapses, and their energy and their effort is always there, that it's hard to beat those teams because you got to outplay. You have to beat them. Yep. They're not going to let you beat. You got to go and beat them, and it's going to be tough. And he makes it hard.
Yeah,
he makes it hard, man. So I just love that you better get your rest the night before because you're going to have to exert a lot of energy when he comes into the game. It's nice to have a guy like JD and then Stu, and then come off your bench with a guy like Paul Reed. It's like having Ausar Thompson and then coming off your bench with a guy like Ron Holland. Like, this guy too. So being able to have that balance and have that same mindset throughout the course of a game, Paul Reed contributes to that greatly.
Yeah, and he contributed to the offense as well. And he's just as unpredictable as, because he hit a 3, which we knew that like Vucevic didn't know that about him, kind of thing.
Yeah,
he was hitting in the paint. Away from the basket, and he was hitting at the rims. He took he took one mid-range corner shot, didn't he? He took a couple where it's just like, okay, Paul Reed, like he's just looking so confident out there, and he definitely feeds his offense off of his defense. But just for stats, we did have equal offensive rebounds between, but it almost doesn't seem like it because just the way Paul Reed is like almost like timing, like we talked about yesterday. Like the timing of his offensive rebounds were so important for us.
Right. No, that's very true. Very true. BC says Reed is one of the few players in the league that constantly gets hustle plays. Absolutely. That is very difficult to do. That's a mindset thing, right? That's a skill. We say with Stu, it's a skill. So it's good to have multiple guys on this team who have that 100%. Yep. One more thing. Organic says, I really don't know how guys like Reed, Green, and DJ show consistent winning intangibles and energy, but get DNPs, CDs in games where we look lifeless. I am with you. So hopefully we can put that behind us.
Yeah.
And move forward with the guys who have shown they can do it because they're resulting in wins.
Yeah. And I think, we talked about the experimenting, and even Organic Lindo, you said in a comment earlier how Paul Reed started off a little funny and then got going. That's kind of how Daniss was tonight too.
Yep.
So I think coach just knows that maybe they need to they have been on the bench and they do get hot quick, but they might not get hot right away.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's true.
Usually I would bet that they would. Yeah. But so then it's just they need a little bit more minutes or to know that they're going to have consistent minutes, I think, to get in that headspace of like, okay, I'm not in here for just garbage time. Like I'm in here to contribute because my team needs me tonight.
Right. That's a good point. All right, guys, let's go to Javonte Green. Javonte Green, guys, didn't play a ton tonight. Can't get minutes for everybody, but at least we're seeing more guys get minutes, right? So maybe we'll see that trend continue. But tonight he had 8 minutes, played 8 minutes, had 5 points, made both of his shots from the field. One of those being a 3 that he made, 1 rebound, 1 steal in 8 minutes. What'd you see from Javonte?
Yeah, in 8.5 minutes, that's fantastic. He stole the inbound pass for a bucket, and that they didn't do it on camera. I didn't get to see it because they moved the camera away, and I don't know. I don't think they ever replayed it, but he was able to steal it for a basket, and then it was an and one, right? Or no, it wasn't an and one.
No, it wasn't an and one, but it was a finish, I think, right?
He got free. I thought he was fouled.
Free throws.
Yeah,
I think it was free throws. He made his free throws.
Yes. And then that nice corner three, and again, in 8.5 minutes, they had the steal, a rebound point, and then he didn't do anything. He had one foul, which he got right when he came in, which was under the rim again, I believe. It was a good foul, so he didn't hurt us in any way, and I think it was just coach being like, well, I'm not going to mess with. Of course, we want him to have more minutes out there, but there was no one to pull.
Yeah.
You know?
And that was actually a finish he got after the steal. I just checked. He didn't have any free throws, but it was a finish that he got after that. I think, it was that steal. So it was a finish he got. So that was, either way, it was nice.
Yeah,
Mr. What You Need coach was playing well. Go ahead.
There was one, it was Daniss. Daniss got he bothered the inbound and got fouled.
Yep.
That's who it was.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And we'll get to him, but Javonte Green, I always love to see him out there. I'm hoping to somehow it looks like they played Ron a little bit more at 23 minutes, kind of like they did with LeVert last game. So someone on the bench played a little bit more than everyone else, but it was pretty equal overall. And Javonte played the least minutes. I think for the least minutes to still be out there for 8.5, like there were no 5-minute periods.
Yeah.
Like that was really good. So, and now it's just, again, it speaks to our depth. So now he's extra warm if we need to call on him on Monday.
Right. I think we may see like Ron Holland and Javonte kind of alternating based on the matchups. I think because they do a lot of the same things. Yeah. Right. And they do them well. I think, I think it's really just going to be matchup based because I like what they both bring. They both are tough. They both are physical. I think you might see guys, you see Javonte on guys more like Desmond Bane going forward, guys who are physical and strong. And you'll see Ron on guys maybe a little bit more speedy, like the Peyton Pritchards. Ron is really good at guarding guys who are smaller than him, right? So I think they'll kind of alternate based on those matchups, but I like what they both bring. And you hit on pretty much everything I was going to say about him. I mean, he was great. I love his ability to knock down shots when he's open. Yeah. The corner three he had, that was nice. Wide open, silk. Just knocked it down. He's another one of those guys, boss, that just comes into the game and just makes an impact, right? Doesn't have to play a ton of minutes. Yeah. But when he leaves the game, he normally leaves you in a better position than you were in before he brought him in. So I just love to see his impact on the court, and hopefully he continues to get more minutes and opportunity going forward. Yeah, and like we said about guys before, he just didn't hurt us. So he didn't come into the second, but he gave guys that played in the first chance to rest without anything getting detrimental. So he didn't really ball handle, but he had no turnovers. And again, he was the only one that played that didn't have a turnover. Just so you know, everyone else got a turnover tonight. He don't hurt you. Yeah, no. He don't hurt you. No. Really good. Good stuff from him. Okay, we'll leave it there. Okay, boss. Let's move it on along. Let's talk about Ron a little bit. Ron Holland tonight had a bounce back game. Yeah. This is one of the games I think you were hoping to see as far as him being able to break out. You talked about it a week ago. So tonight, Ron had 10 points on 4-6 shooting, 2-2 from the free throw line, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals in 23 minutes. What did you see from Lil Ron Dog Pound Jr. tonight? Yeah, and I've been saying I want an offensive breakout game for him. And 10 points may not seem a lot, but it was more so his decisions, his offensive decision making. He just showed so much confidence on offense tonight. He knew when to drive to the basket. He was making smart decisions on when to pull and pass. He was doing so good. He had multiple drives. That one was an and one. He had that steal to jam when we needed it in the third. Yes. The steal on Hero for the and one where he basically flew to the ground. I don't have the other steal written down, but I'm sure it was a good one and it resulted in points knowing how Ron is. So I just really liked what I saw from him tonight on every level. It was his best game in a while because he either gets into foul trouble or he doesn't, he makes a mistake on offense, forcing shots, stuff like that. He just looked smart tonight. He made very smart decisions. Yeah. He looked like Ron tonight. Yeah. Okay. The Ron that we're accustomed to seeing, that we saw last year. He looked to me like I saw him taking advantage of every opportunity to push the basketball. Yeah. And that's when, the Pistons are able to get stops and create turnovers. That's when he's at his best. Yeah. When he's able to get in transition, like you mentioned, he got the steal, got the nice interception, with the pass and just picked it off. He jumped the route, basically. He saw the pass coming and got ahead of it and got in the passing lane, took it away, went coast to coast for a dunk. He had a few nice acrobatic plays, just showing off that athleticism that he had and that speed.
loves to do. Like, he
Yeah.
never has like a nice layup. It's like, oh yeah, he got some points. It's like momentum changing, momentum bringing shots and
Yeah.
plays. It's just who he is. And like D said, I'd be so hyped when he's on the floor. That's how I feel. And that's why I feel like these past few games, it's been like, no, Ron, like get the energy up. And so what he did tonight kept or grew the energy. And that was just so big. And that's like what he wants to do. So.
Yeah. I mean, you'll notice, guys, he's way more effective in transition than he is in the half court.
Yeah.
Right? Like he can make things happen in the half court. He can, maybe if he gets a step, he can get to the hoop. But we noticed at times early this season, he would struggle to finish at times through traffic and be, things like that. He may lose a ball here and there. But when he's in transition with a head of steam, he's hard to stop. He's a good finisher. Like he makes shots that most guys wouldn't be able to make just because he's so acrobatic and he's got good touch around the rim on the break. He's just really good at making plays, nice plays that you wouldn't expect guys to make. He's good at making those plays.
Yeah.
So those highlight plays. So I just love to see him getting back to who he is. And once again, it's because the team is helping him.
Yeah.
By getting stops and turnovers and getting out in transition. Go ahead.
Like you said, I mean, he is one of those guys that it looks almost messy or out of control, but it goes in. Like he's in control of it. And so I just hope it carries over to Monday. Again, I'm not just going to say, well, look, he had this great game. This is what I expect from him every time. But I just hope that after a few games where he didn't feel like himself and I didn't see him having as much fun on the court, I hope that this carries over into Monday and that he can continue it. Because I want it for him. More than
and honestly, guys, I said it already, but his success is going to hinge on the Pistons defense.
Yeah.
Literally. If the Pistons are not, swapping baskets and, if they're able to get stops and get out in transition, we are going to see the best version of Ron Holland. We're going to see the version we saw last year when we were getting out in transition. That's when he was at his best. So it's going to come down to that. If all five guys in the court with him are able to help him defensively get out in transition, we're going to see Ron Holland at his best consistently. So hopefully we see that for sure. All right, guys, we'll leave it there on Ron, and we will move on to, we got two more guys. So let's start with Daniss Jenkins. Okay. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We asked for him to be freed, and the shackles were removed, boss. So we're going to get the tink tonight. Tonight, guys, Daniss Jenkins played 15 minutes. It seemed like it was more than that. Maybe it was just his impact, but he played 15 minutes. Right. 9 points, 2 of 4 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 4 assists. Listen, 4 assists, 1 turnover. What have I been saying, boss? That's his turnover ratio has been.
Yeah.
4-1. Once again tonight. 4 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 steals. So what did you see from Tink in his 15 minutes of play tonight?
Well, I mean, the turnover thing, again, that's why he was brought in when Cade was getting into turnover trouble. And it was just validating to see because, like we said, with JB figuring out these lineups, he might have gone for a vet or someone else to go in to just try to take off the load for Cade. But he trusted Daniss, and Daniss did not have the best first half. He missed 2 shots. That's when he had his turnover. It was a little sloppy. Yeah, same.
Like uncharacteristic. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he had the foul. He was pulled. And so then I was just kind of sitting there like hoping he'd come back in. And I figured that JB would put him in because he seemed to be going in for Cade, to rest. Mm-hmm. But he didn't come in until the 120 left in the third. And in that time, he bothered the inbound to draw that foul.
Yep. And
get to the free throw line to make both of those. And I think he had a basket in there too. Like he took advantage of that short time in the third. Just a huge impact when we really needed it. Shook off whatever he was bothering him in the first half. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw him in the first, a little bit in the second, and then he wasn't back in until the end of the third. And then in the fourth, he had the corner mid-range right over defense at the short clock. Mm-hmm. That was pretty. That was nice. That was like a Kevin Durant shot.
It was.
He stole it. And then but for me, he was trusted in the end to be inbounded too. Not only because they were like, we know that you can run around the court and try to avoid being fouled out, making a mistake, like turning it over. Oh, he dribbled it off his foot.
Yep, off his foot.
That was the turnover. Yeah, okay. And then he had the free throws where he made 3 for 4. He missed the first one, made up for it, came in clutch, huge. It would be a different story if he made 1 for 4, but he made 3 for 4. So I'm just really happy for him because he just goes again, like he just shows he shows his consistency, not inconsistency, but he's so consistent. And even when things aren't going his way, he finds a way to make it better. And I think he had some assists before he tried driving into the basket. He just tried to make an impact before he had made some mistakes that, I know he was hard on himself for that.
For sure.
So I was just so excited to see him. And I think, again, it just spoke volumes how he was brought in at the end and just kind of trusted in crucial plays. Because they could have ran a thing where they just get screen, and get Duncan free. That's what the Heat were expecting them to do. The Heat were expecting them to get to Duncan. They gave it to Daniss in the backcourt both times.
100%. Awesome. Exactly. I was going to hit on that same thing. You beat me to it. I told y'all about this, man. I told y'all about Daniss Jenkins, and Boss was right there with me too. And it's just nice to see him continue, man. Every opportunity, he just shows up. He shows up, man. Listen, Daniss Jenkins better not play less than 8 minutes the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of the year. I mean, he started off slow, but man, did he finish strong.
Yeah.
He was a dog defensively too. And offensively, he did a really good job of getting others involved, setting the table, and making the right play.
Did you see this? I forgot to mention this when he was barking at Cade.
Yeah, I saw that. I love it. And you talked about this as far as him being able to pick Cade's brain as the natural point guard that he is. He's a smart point guard. He's very smart. So it's nice to see that there's somebody else that Cade can learn from a little bit and kind of pick his brain as far as what he's seeing from the defenses. It's just nice to have that back and forth dialogue with those two for sure. I definitely did see that, man. But he was clutch again. He came up clutch again. When we all know, guys, the Pistons had that 22-point lead right in the fourth quarter. It looked like they were running away with this thing. Maybe about to blow them out by 30 plus, right? They let the lead once again dwindle all the way down to 2. 2 points, guys. Daniss Jenkins, guys, was the one to step up and make a play, getting all the way to the rim and finishing. He was letting them know about it too. But it didn't matter. And this is the most impressive thing. It didn't matter that he played sparingly the last 3 games, didn't play much the last 3 games, despite showing up every time he's played. It didn't matter. He's always ready. He's always game. He's a gamer. He's always ready. And you mentioned it. They put the ball in his hands. The guy who hasn't played much the last 3 games, the guy who still only played about 20 NBA games, meaningful basketball games in his career, right? They put him that shows the trust that they have in him. That is a great deal of trust to know that despite all this noise, despite all this adversity or all these things that are pointing against him not being, what he is, he's still showing that he's like that guy.
Yep.
He's never afraid. He's always ready. He wants the moment.
Yep.
I love everything about this dude, man. Like, he is surpassing my expectations now because of the spots that he's doing these things in. We all knew he could hoop. You and I talked about it for last year or two, that he could hoop. He's an NBA player. But what he's showing as far as his mental, his mental toughness, he's surpassing my expectations now. Like, this dude, man, he has a chance to be scary good in this league. And that's scary for me because I want to keep him here forever, right? Yeah. But yeah, Daniss Jenkins is a hooper, man. I'm happy for him. Once again, his ability to be able to just step up in those moments, despite all the noise, outside noise, and say, hey, give me the ball. I'm going to take care of the basketball. I'm going to make a play for us. I don't care what anybody else says or what they do. If you trust me with the basketball, you are not going to regret it. Yep. And he has shown that time and time and time again.
Yeah, especially, again, after the slow start, so there's just really no reason for him not to get those minutes because we know that he can heat it up. He has not had a bad game yet. He's had games where he, isn't the best scorer, but he's assisting. We've talked about it. He's a great spacer. He can handle the ball. He doesn't turn it over. It's just
he can do everything.
Big moments. Yeah, he really can. And you said it. He also wants those moments. He wants to be trusted with the ball in big moments. And that's just a really cool mindset. And him talking to Cade as well. And I'll notice these past 2 games, because I said last time, maybe against the Celtics, because I didn't watch, but Cade was starting to emulate the way that Daniss passed the ball by whipping it. Yeah. And in these past few games, Cade was getting a little lackadaisical, again, a little slow, a little in the air. So I'm just like, I want to see more Daniss whips because he's like a quarterback out there just trying to catch the ball. He gets it to people without it being able to have a chance of being deflected. So right. And we saw, and that just reminded me of, like, again, we saw him talk to Cade about things too. We don't know what was said. I'm sure it was also like, dude, why didn't you just do this Like, why'd you do that when I'm here? And like, but it's all respect, because for them to learn off of each other would be huge.
Yep.
I mean, unstoppable duo. And I don't see him, especially once we get Ivy back in the lineup, I don't see him going anywhere necessarily. Like, I hope we keep on to him, because he should be our backup point guard. And people mentioned it earlier, Jenkins and Ivy look good together. I
noticed that too. Yeah.
So if Cade goes out and Ivy stays on and Jenkins is out there, they can work well off each other. Obviously, Cade and Jenkins are working well off each other. That's those three. That's dangerous. Have a rotation with those three.
Yeah, because once again, there's not any film on them.
Yes.
This was the first time we really saw more than 30 seconds or a minute of Daniss Jenkins and Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and they do different things. Like Cade and Daniss looks different from Jaden and Daniss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cade can play the one, Daniss can play the two. He can play off. And then when Jaden comes to the game, now Daniss can play the one and Jaden can play the two. Like, the possibilities are endless because they can all play either spot.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it hard to defend. And they're just getting started. Imagine them by the All-Star break, when they have more chemistry, when they have more reps, when they have more confidence in each other. So Daniss Jenkins better not ever, I better not ever look at the stat sheet again and see anything that says single digits, as far as just like, because even the only turnover, it wasn't a bad pass. He just lost the ball. Like,
at the start of the game, not in important minutes, not when the Heat were pressing hard. It was just a silly little turnover. But again, to shake that off is just so huge, you know?
Yeah.
I've just noticed with these guys, like with Duncan missing his first two, then nailing his next two, like they're just doing so well at, you know, coming back to it, because, and I think that's a reflection of JB, but also Cade, because we've seen him, especially even last season, like if Bees was cold, Cade would still trust to throw the ball to him. Like they really do all trust each other.
Right.
And that's what helps everyone stay in the moment and stay in the game and not get, you know, all worried up or tense about making some mistakes, because you basically have your teammates being like, well, don't do it again. We'll keep going. We got this.
100%. No, 100%. So I want to shout out Jeremy again, because after last game, I was texting him, blowing him up. I sent him like a string of texts, like, bro, why are you in the game? Like, I was kind of venting to him. He's like, bro, I know. He's like, I don't. He's like, bro, just he said it's all good. He said, don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. It's all good. When our moment comes again, we'll be ready. That's all he ever says. It's kind of frustrating. I'm like, bro, aren't you mad too? Why aren't you mad about this? But he's like, don't worry about it. Once he gets his chance, he's gonna show up. Don't even worry about it. He's going to prove it time and time again, the same way he's proved it to get to this point. So don't even chill. Don't even trip. Just chill.
Yep.
And here we are again tonight. He was ready for his moment, and he showed up and helped us win this game. So shout out to Daniss Jenkins again for, you know, once again, defying the odds and showing why he deserves to be an NBA player and a backup point guard for this team at least. So shout out to him, man. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go to our final guy of the night. That guy being Jaden Ivey, whose tune has changed a lot in the last 24 hours amongst fans. Let's go ahead and get to his box score, boss. So tonight, Jaden played 14 minutes, which is more balanced. I like that between those guys.
So far.
That's his most. Yeah, I think the high before was 12?
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're slowly, incrementally ramping him up a little bit more, which is natural. He had 9 points on 2-5 shooting, 1 or 2 from 3-point, 4-4 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover in 14 minutes. What did you see from J.I. tonight, boss?
I just thought he looked comfortable. There were times where he like turned on the Jets again to beat people to the basket. Like, I think he just looked his healthiest so far. He had that really nice underhand scoop layup for his first points. His defense was great. He bothered Hero for the last shot of the first that Paul Reed came in and helped him with. And, you know, he wasn't necessarily making the shots, but he was getting to the spots he wanted and drawing the fouls. Yeah. That's what he did. I just saw him get to where he wanted to go. And basically, if he didn't make it, he was fouled. And he was hitting his free throws, which is huge. He just looked really good. And I think he's excited to be out there more. We got a glimpse of him. And I know, like, a 2 big lineup would look like a Tobias on the bench and Stu and Duran in the starting lineup. But we got a little glimpse of him, Tobias, Stu, Cade, and Ausar together. Yeah. The potential starting lineup guys, if a Duran injury happens, you know, stuff like that. And they looked great together. He just, I I'm just excited for him. I think he's just again, he's slowly ramping it up, but he has not done anything to harm the team since his return. And that's just really huge. And to see him get a little more minutes tonight, to see him look for the shots he wants, and he hit that long three.
Oh my goodness.
That was a pass from Daniss. So that's when they were connecting.
Yeah.
That was really nice and just a momentum shifter as well. And everyone was happy for him. Oh, and my favorite was the clip that you should show next that you already showed.
Yeah, I'm going back to it. Yep.
At the end of the third, I had it written down that he was doing so well on defense that it got the entire bench involved, got some deflections going.
Yeah.
That made me really happy because obviously the team chemistry is huge. And just to see them root on JI like that and we've seen it with other guys. We've seen them do that with Stu. We've seen the bench cheer on their guys for playing good D. But
love to see that.
And me cheering, at home. So
yeah, I love to see that. Yeah. So let's play that play that I meant to play, or that I played prematurely with JI. Let's play that now.
Daniss Jenkins. Discounts his defender. Open Ivey. Deep three. Jaden Ivey. Quick as the twine. And the Pistons.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, for sure. It was so many things in that play you can point to, like the defense that he had, just crowding Hero. Like he was great with his defense. He was great with his rotations defensively, his team defense. But that play, you saw the intensity. You said it. The bench was right there behind him, like just fueling that fire, Yes, he's getting the spidey senses back. And then I liked how Daniss Jenkins didn't lose the ball in that play. He didn't turn it over in that play, and he didn't commit an offensive foul either. Right? He's so under control. But JI, once again, guys, slowly but surely, peaks and valleys, highs and lows. That's going to be the story for him this year. Yeah. We want to see him peaking as we get to the playoffs. If we get that version of JI that we had last year in the playoffs this year, it's going to be trouble for anybody in the league. Yeah. Let alone the East, but the league. And so I said this about Ron, I'm going to say it about JI too. If the Pistons want to see those two guys at their best, they are going to have to strap up on defense. They're going to have to commit to who they are to be able to play good defense, turn teams over, and get out in transition. That is when Ron Holland's at his best. That is when Jaden Ivey is at his best. We just saw with that play with JI, right? And he contributed that time to the defense. So we're seeing that it's not like he's a defensive liability like a lot of people were saying. When he's locked in and when he's playing with, good team defense with his guys, he can contribute to that as well. And he can also be that two-way guy and then be a guy who can knock down a 35-foot three-pointer. Yeah. Right? Go ahead.
And that was almost the literal translation of them saying that our defense contributes to our offense because that amazing, defensive possession by JI led to that three by JI. So that's almost like literal in your face one. Right. And again, like those kind of plays just get everyone so fired up. And that's how they like to play. Like that was a Pistons play right there. Being menaces on defense and getting out fast and beating throwing everyone off, throwing the defense off on their the Heat defense off and making the play happen. Just big few minutes there. Just big back-to-back possessions for JI. And that's the kind of things I remember him doing for us last year. It's just really moments. And I am thrilled this game remains. It's just gonna, like you said, we want his peak to go up, but the slowness is really paying off for him in the long run. So just slow and steady. Like we're seeing now too, he's getting more aggressive. He's learning how to pick his spots better. Like, and once again, we mentioned the transition, offense. Like we saw last game, the Pistons trying to utilize him, bringing the ball up court and half court. It just didn't look right. It just didn't look, at least for right now, didn't look like he was really comfortable doing that. Yeah. But tonight, to see him playing the way he was playing tonight was much better. Yeah. And you guys mentioned it. Yeah, Daniss along with JI looks really, really good because Daniss knows how to set anybody up. Yeah. He knows how to set anybody up. He's a point guard. But it looked like tonight he wasn't so worried about stepping on guys' toes as much. Yeah. I saw somebody in the comments mention he should have made another swing to Duncan in the corner. Fine. Yeah. I'm okay with him taking that shot. He's trying to work his way back. Right. Right. He yes. 100%. showing he believes in himself. Because the thing is, if I would be worried about Ivy if he wasn't taking shots, if he was,
there you go.
He's looking confident, he's looking comfortable. So I think he just looked a lot more like this game. He definitely looked like his past self and what we see from him, because he was hitting all around. Like he just moved very well. He was quick. He had some explosiveness. He went from 0 to 100 a couple times. So just those are the things that are good to see when you deal with such a leg injury like that.
Yeah. So it's just nice to see, like, the more he reps it out, the more comfortable. We're seeing it game over game now. The more he's getting more and more comfortable, just a little bit at a time. Incremental growth. That's all we want to see from him. And the more he gets comfortable with these guys, the more he sees that they're not upset with him for being aggressive, the more he's going to naturally, instinctively be aggressive. Like, he's getting a feel for what he can do in his own space within the team. And that's what you want to see. He's picking the spots much better. So this is what, game 5 for him? So game 5, two good games, 2 subpar games, and another good game. So yeah, he's going to be just fine, guys. Just got to give him time to get to where he's trying to get to round into shape. So I'm not concerned about him at all. Great bounce back game from him. He's looking more like the guy we expect to see. So
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about him. I'm just excited to say more eventually.
So one more thing before we end this tonight, guys. We were talking about the Heat and the Pistons. If you watch the game, the broadcast, they showed different memories from both teams and their back and forth over the years. And, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite Pistons Heat moment?
Ooh.
There's a few to choose from. You can go as recent as last year. You can go back 20 years. But there are quite a few Pistons Heat moments that you can choose from. So chat, I want to hear from you guys what your favorite Pistons Heat moment is. You can let us know here in the chat, or if you're watching on the rewatch, you can let us know in the comments. But I would like to hear from you guys and from you, boss, if you have one.
Yeah.
What one of your, it ain't got to be your favorite. Can't think off top because I didn't mention this to you before.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite Pistons Heat moment that you can remember over the last few decades?
What I can remember is growing up despising having to play Dwayne Wade. So when we came back and won that Eastern Conference Finals, for sure.
In 2000, okay, gotcha. That was in 2000 because they beat us in 06.
Yeah.
And we beat them in 05 to get to the finals against the Spurs. Okay, yeah. So the year 05 year you're talking about.
Yeah, and I just Dwayne Wade, any of the Heat. I just couldn't stand the Heat.
Okay.
It's been that way for a long time. Now they're a tough team. I always think that we're the better team, and we have been this year, last year, but they play hard and they have shooters. They're kind of, they can come back, they go on runs. We haven't beaten them by more than 3 and 4 games in a row. They're just one of those teams that play us well, like the Hawks and stuff like that. But that would be mine. And I just want to say real quick, and I want to hear everyone else's memories and yours as well. But speaking of the Hawks, they did so with the Cup games. There's 2 new Pistons games added to the schedule. Did you see that?
I did.
Okay. It's like December 12th, guys, we play the Hawks. So tomorrow will be a good look at that. And the 15th, we play the Celtics, who we're 1-1 with so far this season. So right. Yeah. So that's good to know, because had we advanced in the Cup, we wouldn't have had those games. So that's a good point. If we had advanced in the Cup, we would be facing the Heat. And this would have been a great standoff. But
I know.
It's okay.
I know.
It all happens for a reason.
If we're fifth, we'd be drunk. We know. We get it. Trying to move on. But you're right. So that's something we got to look forward to as far as the schedule, guys. All right, so let's get to some of you guys' comments. Ms. Earp says, Cade's game winner last season. Not a bad choice at all. That was a nice response to Bam Adebayo's game winner over Russ before that. So that was nice. BC says, Cade game winner's most recent one. Yes. Yes, that seems to be a favorite. Cade game winner in Jersey poll. Ooh, let's go back in time a little bit. That Ben Wallace Shaq block. Woo, that's a good one. That is a big one.
So good on Shaq, guys. Ben was so good on Shaq.
Yes, he was. When he was with the Lakers and the Heat, he played him well. And it's funny because Ben is so smart. He jumped in the air before Shaq even got off the ground. So that way, when Ben comes down, all that weight is coming down on him as he's trying to go up, and he's not going to be able to get a shot up. Ben was just so smart, bro. He was so smart of a basketball player. All right, let's see what else we got. Grant Hill dunking on Mourning. Wow. I remember that one. And one dunk. That was after Alonzo Mourning. Okay, so set it up. We got a little bit of time. So Alonzo Mourning set a hard screen on Grant Hill, and he kind of raised his shoulders up as he said it, and he kind of caught Grant in the face. And Grant didn't like that. So Grant responded by grabbing him and slamming him to the floor. And stood up like this. Like Mourning went to the floor. Mourning's like, what are you doing? He stood up, and Grant Hill was like, what?
Yeah.
What? What you gonna do? And he followed that up by taking Dan Marley off the dribble, going through the legs, going to the hoop, shielding his body like Vince Carter did on Morning as well later on, and dunked it all on him. So much so that when he got dunked on, Morning didn't even look at him. He got dunked on and just kept walking the other way. And Grant was like, what?
Yeah.
What? That was a great one. Hey, Mario knows, you know, bro. That was a great moment. Let's get a few more and then we'll call it, guys. Ms. Earp says, also the alley-oop to Durham buzzer beater was sick last year. That was also a nice one. Yeah, that cup game was fun.
The play that Spo stole this year. I was reading, as he should, because it's a very good play. So I was reading some comments on Coach of the Year, and a lot of people are saying Spo, and someone brought up that as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And in this particular list, who made it had Bickerstaff at the top. And I wanted so bad to be like, yeah, that was a great play that he learned from Bickerstaff last year when the Pistons beat them on it. You know,
right.
Like, oh, he's a brilliant coach. Yeah, he is. He's Spo. Of course, he's a brilliant coach. But that
he stole that. You're right.
In particular, he stole from Bickerstaff.
You're 100%. I remember that, and I'm like, man, they don't know what they're talking about. He stole this.
Crazy with it this year, and I was like, hey, give him the props. But it's fine.
It's all good because we beat them with that play. That's what took us to overtime with them. So they can have it if they want, but they still know deep down in their heart that they stole that from us for sure. Let's get a few more guys, and we'll call it. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Camille says Spo's timeout. That was right after the alley-oop. That was right after. He was so rattled. He called timeout, didn't have one, and got a tech. And I think that put us up. I believe I can't remember, but yeah, that was all the same game, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That was all. This was also the same game too, boss. The Tim Heat check.
Yes.
When he hit back to back 3-pointers
in the overtime.
Yes.
Tyler Hero popped off, and we were up by 12. And so I was like, if this happens again, I'm gonna lose my mind because the Hero he has a knack for doing that to us. Like we just end up in overtime with the Heat. So same game. Yep. That was beautiful.
I remember that. This is my favorite. Game 7 of the 05 conference finals when she jumped in the huddle after the win. So for me, it was when he knocked down that 3 ball to put the game away. You guys remember that game? The Pistons were on the road in game 7 of that series. The Heat had home court advantage. And I forgot, I think somebody bounced the ball off their foot. It may have been Chauncey who bounced the ball off his foot, and Rasheed went and retrieved it from the top of the key and just rose and knocked it down. And I remember at my house going crazy when he knocked that down. It was game, set, match when he knocked that down. So that's a great one. That's my favorite moment for sure between them. Camille says, how old are you? I was 7 in 06. Man, you were 7, bro? Y'all making me feel old. In 06, I was 18. Sheesh.
I was 13.
13? Yeah. 13, yeah. So yeah, for sure. Mario says, Deuce, no, yeah, man. Y'all know I'm good for the old school stories, man. Like that was peak fan Deuce as far as the Pistons until recently. Like that was graduation years and all that. I was really into the Pistons for sure then, and I still am now. 04 though, yeah, that was a championship year for sure. Rip no look pass to Ben Wallace in the 05 playoffs. I remember that, but that was nice. Rip was diamond that game too. I remember that. That was nice in 05. That was a tough series. We pulled it out for sure. Yeah. All right, guys. One more. She'd hit the 3 and told. Yeah, that was good. That was also game 7. I think that was game 7 as well. They showed a clip of that tonight, actually, when she rose. Because I think it was a young Haslam. This was like braided Haslam. We had the braids and all that. Oh, yeah, he gave Sheed, right? He gave Sheed space, and she gave him Hezzy and rose, and he said, don't leave me. Backed up. He better not leave me, boy. Don't leave me. I loved it. Yeah, first class for sure. Great times, man. Great times. So for sure. So guys, I appreciate those comments. Good to know we got some old school fans in here who remember those days for sure. Mario says, my baby girls love your Pistons music downtown Deuce. Good work, bro. I appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. Got more coming on the way, man. So hopefully they'll like that as well. You know, kids are always honest, right? They tell the truth. So let me know if I pass the test for this new music we got coming out soon, Mario. Appreciate you, bro. All right, guys, we are going to end it there. This has been a great show. The Pistons get back on track. We can start a new winning streak now. Up next for the Pistons, guys, is a home tilt when they play host to the Atlanta Hawks, like Boss mentioned. And the Pistons beat the Hawks in their first meeting about 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I expect them, Boss, to win this one as well.
Yes. So yeah, I'll be able to watch the game, but I won't be on the pod.
Yeah.
I'm going to see some Nuggets Mavs action. It might be my
Good
only
luck
chance
charm.
it might be my only chance to see AD. We don't know next time he's out for 3 months, you know?
Hopefully he lasts until then. You know what I'm
hopefully he
saying?
can make it 2 days on his
Hopefully
off
he
time.
doesn't sprain his esophagus between now and then, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully not. We'll see.
Yeah. So that'll be fun then. But next it's gonna be I think we got it Monday, especially if we're feeling this good.
Yeah.
And then it'll be Bucks, which will be a challenge. But the way that Stu and Durant have been attacking the rim, I'm less worried about other teams' bigs now.
Yep.
I know Giannis is obviously an incredible player, but in the past, I would have been a little bit more worried about the guys in the paint. But our guys have been just standing their ground. And, and it hasn't been, and I mentioned this in the past, like when there's certain centers that I'm not afraid of, like Isaiah Jackson, and, you know, but there are centers that I am afraid of. But the way that Durant and Stu have been showing up and showing out, and Paul Reed,
there you
I'm
go.
not worried about it. They're just going to do their job, and they're not going to think about it. And to me, that's just a huge gain, because I mean the Bucks are their last 10. They've 2-8, and Giannis just returned, but they lost that game. So
yeah, it's going to take them a while to.
They're not the powerhouse team that they've been in recent years. So
no. And he just got back. So he, just like J.I. or anybody else, you can't expect guys when they first come back to be peak players. Yeah, but you mentioned it, though. JD. Having Stu and JD, they keep each other out of foul trouble for the most part when they're playing together. And if they do, you got Paul Reed right there. So love it.
I'm not afraid of Jokic either. I'm not afraid of him.
That's a different story.
Everywhere else.
That's a different conversation for another day.
I'm afraid of him at lobs and he can make a full court shot, guys, by volleyballing it. I've seen it. Yeah, you've seen it up close. And he still scares me. So. Yeah, he's scary for any position.
I agree. So, guys, we will leave it there, man. Yes, Fats Kim, Daniss is a feature. I see you reposting it. I got you. Yes, he is for sure. All right, guys. So we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate you guys joining the show tonight. That is a wrap for this show. Shout out to you guys for showing up and showing out as you guys always do, man. We really do appreciate you guys. So y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. See y'all Monday. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'm gonna be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that chop, you must want this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that.